Hello, everybody. Welcome to another live. We are doing so great, so fantastic on our lives. Like every day alive. Yoo-hoo. Welcome, guys. I just came from work about 30 minutes ago, and I'm like, I'm just gonna come and do a live because if I go sit down, if I do anything, I'm just gonna not do a live. I didn't want that to happen. I made a promise to you guys, and I'm gonna come here and do the live every single day as I promised. Okay. So today we have a juicy topic to talk about. Welcome everybody who's in the live. Don't forget to comment. A lot of you are in the live, but you don't comment. Give a sweet comment and like the video. Like the video, give the video a thumbs up. When you give the video a thumbs up, you are supporting me. And I appreciate all of you who join the live every single day. So today's topic is I left the rat race and never returned, right? A lot of you want to leave the rat race and you're wondering and pondering and thinking how you can leave the rat race and how you're going to do it. How. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about living the rat race, living the life that you want on your own terms, and living a simple, enjoyable life with no strings attached, without so much high responsibilities and so much demands. Because in life today, there's so much demands for everything. Sometimes that can kind of drive you up a wall, or that can kind of make you stressed because every day you're thinking about like what next. I have to do this, I have to pay this, I have to go here. Like it's so much. I was at the bus stop the other day, and one of the parents was saying, oh, we haven't seen you, we see your kids bringing your daughter to school, we see your husband, what's up? And I'm like, oh, I'm just busy doing stuff, I am doing a side hustle. I'm doing my own little personal thing that I do at home, making my soap business and stuff like that, because I have my own small business that I run, and I'm just busy. So some mornings I don't come to the bus stop because I'm not here. I'm out there busy doing stuff, and I'm working. And the parent was saying, you know, um, I have some friends too. Sometimes I don't see them for a while too. And I say, what's going on? And the friend says, oh, man, I have to be picking up some extra shift. I have to be doing this because the bill got to be paid. This thing has to be paid. That thing has to be paid. So it's like a rat race. And we are just like constantly like running around. And I don't think that's the life that we want to live. But what I want to ask you guys, do you feel like you're in a rat race? Yes or no? Answer in the comments. Say yes or no. Do you feel like you're in a rat race and you feel like you're on this hamster wheel and you keep going fast, going around, the wrong like a hamster on a wheel constantly every single day? You're just stuck in a life of like monotony and a never ending working cycle. And you just come home, you go to bed, get up the next day and start the same monotonous uh, activity all over again. And you're really not happy about it. This is not you. This is not what you expected. And a lot of people look and they think, oh, the grass is greener on the other side. For example, you live in the Caribbean. Oh, I want to travel to USA. I want to travel to Canada. I want to travel abroad. I want to see life. Then you come here and you realize, oh my gosh, work, because you have those bills to pay, the electricity bills to pay, the light bill to pay, the car payment, all that kind of stuff. And you realize, whoa, life was better back home because at least you didn't have to pay so much bills. And sometimes we think the grass is greener on the other side, but it's really not. So be strategic, think wise before you make such decision, because you might just be taking yourself they say like you jump from the fire into the frying pan. Like, yeah, be careful, because I was at the driving how do you call it, the place where you go when you driving license place there. I was there, and I was talking to this couple, and they were telling me, oh my gosh, we left our country and we thought like the grass was greener on the other side, and we realized that, oh my goodness, there is so much things here that we wasn't prepared for. And they were saying like, oh my goodness, everything here is just so difficult. So they're planning to work a little bit more here and go back to their country because that's not what they expect. Because sadly, when what you see on TV, it's not reality. You understand? It's not reality. When you come here, you see the reality for yourself and then you create your own reality. So be careful before you leave a place where you're thinking, "Oh, I'm here, it's warm, I have a house, I'm not paying a bill, I'm on my family land, or I'm paying a very small amount of rent, I'm paying $16 for electricity," then you want to come to foreign. Then be careful before you spend your money and buy a ticket and come to foreign and you are not happy and you're not living life at your on your own terms. So there was one point in my life when I felt just like that. I felt like I'm a hamster on a wheel going, getting up every single morning, going to work 9 to 5, like nonstop, doing paying bills, da da da. And I said, "Well, is that the life that I want?" And I said, "No, this is not the life what I want. I want a life of fulfillment. I want a life of happiness. I want a life of peace. I want a life of enjoyment. I want a life of, just life on my own terms. I want to be enjoying my life. I want this peaceful existence. And I don't want to be like a hamster there going continuously on this wheel. I don't want to be in this rat race. So it took me not a week, not 3 months. It took me a while. It took me a couple of years to think about what I really want for myself and in my life. And in those times that I was thinking, I was also saving money because I know if I wanted to quit my job, if I wanted to take another path in life, that I need to support myself and my family. And so I need to be saving money. So it's a process and you have to be strategic about the process. So while I was thinking about what I should do, I started saving up money and making some sacrifices. I started taking some measures, some drastic measures to save money and be financially dependent. So that's the first thing that I started with. And then in the process of doing that, I said, okay, this thing that I wanted to start, this business that I wanted to start, this self-employment that I want to endeavor myself into, I want to start. Let me start it on a small scale. Let me see how I can start this thing. So that's exactly what I did. So I started this small business on a small scale, and then I see, okay, that small business is working, and so I continue with the small business for over a year just to make sure that I'm going to be making enough money and stuff like that, because you don't want to start something like right away and then you're not making any money. You know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that you're making money before you quit your job continuously, you know. Hi, Ahu. Abu, nice to see you. Thanks for joining the live. And so you don't want to just start something and you don't know how long it's going to take, to really fulfill that business and to make it work and to get everything in place. So don't just like, oh, I'm quitting my 9 to 5 because I'm starting a business in a month and you didn't make any profit or you didn't see how the business go. Like you need to keep your 9 to 5 and then you start your business and you work on your business. And then when the business starts making profit, then you gradually and gradually step away from your 9 to 5. But in that process, you need to be saving money also. So you should start saving money for that business first, so you can have a start for the business while you're still working your 9 to 5. And then after you have the money for the business, then you should now run the business. And then once you start running the business, you should continue saving your money. You should be saving money, putting aside money from your 9 to 5, and decide on a period of time when you're going to put, how long you're going to be doing the saving. So for example, you start your business and you're like, okay, I'm going to give this business 1 year. Well, say 6 months. I'm going to give this business 6 months to see how it's going to go. If it's going to make money for me, if I'm going to make a profit and stuff like that. So you're going to work with your 9 to 5 and you start a business on the side, your side hustle. And then you're like, oh, this side hustle is good. I'm making money. I'm making profit. Let me see how I can scale up this side hustle. So you scale up the side hustle and say, that side hustle is doing good. Let me scale it up again. And then when you see that the side hustle is making enough money for you and think you can quit your job, then you quit your job. But in the meanwhile, you should have that side hustle and that job going at the same time. And you should be there saving up your money. You understand? And there are many side hustles that you can do. You just have to make sure that you have a game plan, you have a goal, you have a real business plan set down, and you know exactly the what, when, how, and why for the business. Because don't be just like a scatterbrain person who I want to start a business. Da, 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 da. Oh, I'm just gonna sell food from my kitchen. I'm just gonna buy some containers and go to the dollar store and buy containers and start selling food. No, decide how much containers you're gonna buy, how much food you want to sell, how much is the cost of the materials for the food that you're gonna buy. What are you gonna sell? Rice and chicken, peas, soup, whatever you're gonna sell. Calculate all of that stuff. How many times a week you're gonna sell? You know, and all that kind of things. The takeout, is it gonna be takeout? Are people gonna come pick up the food? You know, decide on that and have a very strong financial plan and say, okay, I see I did this thing for 3 months. Whoa, that's really good. Like I have orders line up every week. Like I'm sold out or whatever. Maybe I should take this thing on a bigger scale. That is how you want to do stuff so you can stop you can leave the rat race. You have to have a strategy and a plan in place so you can leave that rat race. Don't just go cold turkey and then before you know it in a year you're back in that job again and you're not happy about it. Okay, have a very strong plan and also have a plan B. What you can do is while you're doing your 9 to 5, you can even run like you can do two side hustles. You can do one that you really focus on, like I said, if you want to sell food. I know many people who sell food on a Saturday and a Sunday, like on the weekends from their house, and they're making big bucks. Like they take orders. I have a family member, she does that. She have a 9 to 5 and she sells food on the weekend from her house. People take orders and she just drop it off some food, they pick it up, and she makes good money doing that, but she has a 9 to 5. Now she can do that permanently. She won't because she really makes money off of it, and she's constantly sold out. If that's something that she wants to do, she can do it all during the week, but she's still keeping the 9 to 5. And that money that she's making from the food, she saves that up, right? That money goes to vacation, that money goes to other things. But if she wanted to really take this business up another notch, she could really take that business up another notch. Like she can work part-time in a 9 to 5 and then she can run that business like full time and make lots of money. So that's something you have to decide. And then something you have to pick something that's really gonna make money, that's gonna be lucrative. So I'm giving you guys all these points. So if that's something you want to get away from the rat race, I'm giving you examples that you can follow. Let me see if my phone volume is up. Oh, my volume was not up. Let me put my volume up. So let me tell you something else that you can do. Let me tell you how did I set out on this journey. So I minimize my expenses. I really, really did minimize my expenses on the things that I'm selling, not on selling, the things that I'm buying, I'm purchasing. You know, I just really, really minimized down to a T. Because honestly, y'all, like if you look around your home, you have so many things that you're not using. You have so many things that's just sitting around, and you're like, what's the purpose? So like you can start selling things that you have in your house that you're not using. If you have two like slow cookers or something, you only use one, you're not using the other one, just sell it and make some cash. Lighten up your house, you know, and make some cash for yourself. And you could even like sell your clothes that you're not wearing. Instead of taking to the Salvation Army, you can sell it. They have places where you can sell your used clothes. Like find places where you can make money off of the things that you have in your house. You have furniture that you're like, oh, you know, we have a lot of rooms in our house and we don't even use the furniture. They're like, get rid of the furniture inside that room, sell the furniture, make the room into a gym or into a place where the kids can play just freely or something like that. If you're not using a room, why is it packed with furniture and packed with stuff? Like get rid of the stuff, sell them, and have that money in your pocket to do something. Another thing that you can do is make smart investment with your money. I made some smart investment with my money, which paid off. So I could use that money to do something with it to be of value to me. So you can do stocks, you can do bond for a year, you can do it for a year and a half. Like make those decisions up front, make a good plan. So when you're ready to step away from the rat race and that 9 to 5, you have set things in place. You can do something they call susu, which is like partner, where you save money with a group of people, and over a period of time, you have a chunk of money, but you have to be like trusted people to do that with people that or you can join a group where that's been going for years and people there are trusted, and like you're not gonna lose your money. But stuff like that you can do. Make smart investment in things, and then you'll have that money on the side, and that money can be extra money for you to do whatever you want to do. Now, something that you want to do is stay away from society norms and pressure. Like, do what you're doing and don't care what people are going to think about you. Because the minute time you start thinking and pondering and wondering about people, then you're going to start talking to yourself in a negative light, and before you know it, things are going to fall apart. So you really want to live life on your own terms. You really want to get away from the 9 to 5 because you just want to live that simple, abundant life. Then, like I said, have the plans in place. And if you're not sure of the thing that you want to do some research. Go listen to other people who have done the same thing like what you're doing, and see what they're doing, and see what skills you have that you can take advantage of. Because a lot of us have so much skills, but because we don't take the time to search within ourselves and bring the skills out, or bring the skills to fruition, or practice the skills, then we're just like looking at other people and trying to do what they're doing. But you have so much skills, but because you so focused on somebody else, you can't even see your skills, your talents, your ability. So we need to stop and see the things that we can do for ourselves and start doing it. I saw this woman, um she was like working in some job or something, and then I think she wanted to stay at home with a kid or something like that. She got a little house in the countryside, and she's a good baker. Like she know how to make bread, and she was like, oh, you know what, I can make bread. And so she started, experimenting and making sourdough bread, and posting her things online, and you know doing things. And before you know it, now she in her home, in her kitchen, yes, in her kitchen, she transformed it into a little bakery. Her kitchen. She take out some of the shelves, make one side for baking, and then one side for her regular cooking. And now she sells bread. She sells bread to the neighborhood. She sells bread to different shops and everything like that. And she does that from her kitchen. Her kitchen. And now she's self-employed, and she doesn't have to do that 9 to 5 again. You see, but she had to stop and think and move out in a little country house, and say, oh, I have talent. I know how to make bread. I've been making bread for years. Let me search the market. Let me see what bread people like. And she realized that she can make many different breads, but people like sourdough bread. And she decided to go the sourdough bread route. And she talked about when she started making the sourdough bread, that she didn't really, she had to figure out how to get the dough to rise properly. She had to figure out how to get her sourdough to stay the way she wanted it and stuff like that. But it was trial and error. But as she tried and she tried and she practiced and she practiced, then eventually she's making beautiful sourdough, and she's making designs on them, and like her bread sells out in no time. So you have skills. Like, you just have to tap into those skills that you have and use it and get away from the 9 to 5. But if you keep saying no, and not looking deep into yourself and see the skills that you have, then you'll be just doing the 9 to 5 forever, even if you don't like the 9 to 5, even though the 9 to 5 is making you miserable and you want to live that simple life. Because a lot of people are out there in jobs that they don't like. They hate those jobs and they wish they never have to go to these jobs another day. Honestly. And guys, I'm always truthful on this channel to you guys. Some people are out there and they're miserable. I've gone to stores, I've gone to many places, and I've seen many miserable people up there. And even every now and then I talk to somebody and said, like, why are you doing this job if you don't like it? Why are you so mean? Why are you so grouchy? Go find something else to do, because if you're here, at least be pleasant to the customers who are here, So I always say, and I say that in my videos, like, don't do a job that's making you so miserable that you're grumpy to your customers. Like, why? What is the point of that? Tell me, you telling me that you can't find a job that you at least half pleasant? you're in a job that you're so miserable, you're miserable to the customers, like somebody asks you a question, you're not answering, or you're rude, or you're rough, or you're like serving the people rough, like slamming things down, like you're just not polite. I see people doing certain jobs which I wouldn't do because that's not my kind of job, but they're so happy, they're so pleasant, like they will go to the ends of the world to help you if you ask them something, because they like that job, they enjoy what they do, so it doesn't matter. They're happy, they're pleasant, they're happy to do the job. But there's some other people, they're just miserable. So I'm saying, like, why take a job like that? Why? So the next point I want to make is focus on your personal development and learning. Learn, like, your value, take value in your life skills, like I said. So focus on your personal development, like I just talked about. Personal development is, if you want to bake, for example, you've been baking for a while, and you're like, okay, I want to learn to bake better breads. I want to make different breads. I want to make this a career. I want to make this my job now. I don't want to work for anybody anymore. Like, go and find out. Take a course. Go online. Like, I mean, there's so much courses available online for free, and there's so many cheap courses online. You can pay $50 for a course now, $30 for a course, $25. I even see courses of $15. Like, go take a simple course, write things down, practice. You want to make bread? Okay, practice making different kind of bread. Use yeast, use baking powder, use butter, use different things. Write down your recipe. Oh, that didn't work good. Let me try it again. And you keep doing that thing over and over and over until you get it perfect the way you want it. And then you have a product that that tastes good, that is easy to make, the ingredients and stuff like that. But these are the things that you have to do. So that is why I talk about focusing on your personal development. When you're focusing on something, you give all your energy, you give you 100% to it, and so it will be a success. Anything that you work hard at and you take the time to fine tune that thing, it will work. But most people, they try something, oh, 1 week, 2 weeks, but 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks is not enough time to fine tune something. You need to do that thing at least a month, 2 months, 3 months going down the line, depending on the simplicity of. If something is a simple thing, it will take a shorter period of time. But if something is kind of complicated, then it's gonna take a longer time to get the real knack of it. So develop your personal skills and work on it. And like, value your life skills. A lot of you have a lot of life skills and you don't value it. Some of you can cook some smashing meals, like some serious stew meat, some serious curry stuff. Like, you have so much amazing skills. Some of you can bake some really amazing cake and decorate them. Why are you not tapping into those stuff? People celebrate birthdays, they celebrate weddings, they celebrate different things like Hanukkah. Like, there are so much celebrations where they buy food, they cater, they want cakes, and like, if you making cakes and you find a supplier who is gonna take your cake in their store, like, you can make money for that. That can be a lucrative business for you. You just have to make sure you have your recipe down pack, and you know exactly what you want to make, and search the market and see what's on the market, and you come out with your stuff and you go out there and sell your things. But some of us, we're so scared to do the thing, and we're the thing that we love to do, we're passionate about it. And if we take that thing and make it a job, like, it will be great. It will be great. I was watching this family who makes cake, and they're doing amazing. They're making so much money because they all are passionate about making cake. The brother, the mother, the sister. The mom was making cake, then the brother is making the cake too, then the sister is making the cake. But that's something that they like because they all like cake in their family. So they all decide to come together and start a business making cakes. No, every single day they get up and they make cake and they sell and they deliver, and they because they're passionate. And Every month they come up with a new design for our cake, a new this, a new that, or whatever, whatever. I think they even write a book and they have some their own how you call that? The piping thingy. They develop that. But you see how like a love for something become a business. So like I know there's many of you out there. You have loves for things. Some of you can photograph amazingly well. Some of you can fly your drones. Some of you can make woodwork. Some of you can sew and make amazing dress. Like, why are you not tapping into the things that you love? Why are you not doing the things that you enjoy? And like, instead of running to the 9 to 5, like the people that you're working for, do you know that they were passionate about the thing that you're working at for them? You working in that job, but that thing they were passionate about it and they made it into a business. But because like you're not thinking on that level, your brain is not on that level, thinking on that level. That is why you're not out there doing your own business. That is why you're not there doing your own side hustle and you're miserable in this rat race job and you're complaining. Now, not all jobs are miserable jobs. There's some nice jobs out there. I had some good jobs which I love, I enjoy, and yeah, but there's some jobs they're just miserable jobs, and people in there are miserable, right? So this video is for you if you want to quit the rat race and you're in a job that you don't like at all. You're just there because you dare to pay the bill, right? The next point I want to make is stay away from the status quo and people on unreasonable expectations that you will never be able to fulfill. Let me say that again. Stay away from the status quo and people on reasonable expectations that you will never be able to fulfill. Now, when you want to never return to the 9 to 5, when you want to live life on your own terms, you have to realize that this journey belongs to you and only you alone. So that means people are going to come into your path and try to dissuade you. Oh, you want to come over here? Come stop for a minute. Stop and drink some water. Oh, come stop, come chat with me. Oh, you can take a rest here for 2 or 3 days. No, I'm just making an analogy. Like, you're traveling on a journey. People are meeting you on the road. They ask you to do this, to that, stop, talk. No, you're in a journey. You need to be at a certain place at a certain time. And if you keep stopping, talking to people, resting, attending some kind of party they have, you're not going to get to your destination on time. And that's exactly what I'm talking about in life. When you want to do something, people are going to dissuade you. They're going to say, oh, do this. Why don't you do that instead? That doesn't sound like a good thing. Nobody is going to buy that. You know what I'm saying? People will dissuade you when you make up your mind to do something. And the silly thing about it is some of us will listen to this dissuasion, and the joy and the passion we had, we just lose it. And then the status quo is, oh, you're following everybody, but no, for you to get somewhere, you have to go out of the box. You have to be not in the box with everybody. You have to be out of the box. You understand? You have to see what's in the box and want to be outside of the box. You have to come in there with your own ideas and your own vision. Yes, you can get some ideas and some mentorship from other people, but you have to combine them with your own vision, like your own passions, and make that thing into action, an action plan, and make it work for you, for your benefit, right? The point about it is, a lot of people out there, they have a beautiful idea, they have a good design, and they go run it by somebody and they say, oh, that's not good, da, da, da. Sometimes the people that you're telling things like, oh, I want to do this, they're not there for your best interest, they're for their own interest. And some people are very jealous. They're like, oh, look at that idea that she have. If I tell her that it's good, or I give her my suggestion, she will be a businesswoman. She'll be making more money than me. You know what I'm saying? And these things come into them. It's like a bad spirit just come upon them, and they dissuade you and they make you feel bad about the beautiful thing that you was so excited about. So that is why you have to be very careful when you're doing something, and who you tell and who you show and who you bring into that circle when you want to do something and make a like a life changing situation. So when I was deciding like to come out of the rat race, I didn't really tell anybody about it. I just told my family, my immediate family, like my kids and my husband and stuff like that. And that's what we did. And then when people heard, they was like, "Oh my gosh, you're not working there again? You quit your government job, you resign your beautiful position, blah blah blah." But already I was already doing my business for a while before people like, "Oh, you're not working there again?" Or no, because I couldn't tell these people that, because I know, like, I didn't want any negativity on that thing that I was gonna do, and I just wanted to step out in a positive light and not have all this negative baggage behind me. You understand? So it is okay if you have your plan set, if you're very confident about what you're doing, you don't need external forces to help you and give you advice. But if you're going to choose external forces, make sure these people have your best interest at heart, and they're not going to drag you down and make you feel discouraged. You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, you change your mind. You understand? The next thing I want to say is, do you, do me. Live by your personal standards. The worst thing you can be doing is living by somebody else's personal standards. Do you. This is what you want to do, and you're positive, you're sure about it, you have a good feeling about it. Use wisdom, use knowledge, and take the step forward to start the thing. Like, I'm not telling to get up today and say, okay, you have a job that's paying you $50,000. You've been working for this in this job for 5, 6 years. You're making money. That pays the bill. I'm not saying to get up and say, okay, today I quit my job, I resign. I am going to start a hair business. Okay, we know you've been doing hair on the side for people, whatever, whatever. But do you have a plan? How are you going to start this hair business? How many clients do you have at this moment? Hmm, do you have a spare room in your house that you can turn into a hair salon in your house? Like, these are all things that you're going to be thinking about before you start on this venture, even if you're passionate about it, right? Oh, do you want to rent a place? Do you have the finances to rent a place? Do you think it's going to be a lucrative business in the area that you're in? Okay, all my clients are from across town. Hmm, maybe I shouldn't have a hair salon in my house. It'd be much easier if I get a place across town and open a salon over there, because all my clients are across town and they'll bring more clients because they're over there. You know, like things like that you have to be thinking about, but don't quit your 9 to 5 yet until you have all those things in place. And then you start bringing in the money and the moolah. Then, like I said in the beginning of the video, then you take that next step. But it has to be on your personal standards, not somebody else's. You have to be passionate. You have to be sure about what you're doing. You have to have all your I's dotted and your T's crossed and have all those things in place, ready, set, and go. And you also have to have a backup plan and an emergency plan when things goes wrong. You understand? Because, for example, I had a daycare center and things was working for a while. I had kids in my center and everything like that. And then all of a sudden we started having problem with the heating system. Now we're renting this place. This place is being rented to run a daycare. And the people who are supposed to be paying for the heating system is giving us problems. And we have children in this daycare center. So just imagine, what is the plan B? Now, the plan B for us was to exit this building and find another building. But unfortunately, we were not able to find another building in the area because there's just none. You understand? So the plan B didn't work, because the plan B we had was putting the daycare center in like a house. But it didn't work because the city would not allow you to have a daycare center in the location that we were in a house, like a commercial daycare center. It had to be zoned, and it had to be in like a commercial area because they had changed the rules. So we thought that we had a plan B, and we found out that, oh, the rules have changed for the area, so we will not be able to do that. So in case like that, sometimes we need to have a plan C. You understand? So you have to look at all the different things. And maybe if I had a plan C, I would have still had my daycare because I would have like find something else, find somewhere else to put the kids that I had there instead of closing the daycare down. So like you have to look at all the options before you really step out into doing certain stuff so you wouldn't fail. And the next point I want to make is do what works for you and your family and not for other people. You know, what may work for you may not work for others. So, like right now, I'm working a part time job and I have my business I'm running. That works fantastic for me. And I already mentioned that in another video that I made. So, that works for me. So, I am not in the rat race. I'm not doing a job that I do not like. I'm not doing a job that has long hours. I'm not doing a job that's paying me like minimum very very small salary or something like that, that's gonna not make me able to do the things that I want to do. So find yourself a side hustle or find yourself a part-time job that is paying you a good salary, that is paying you a reasonable wage. You have a good hours that is matching for your family situation, and live the life on your own terms. And when you figure that, okay, I have enough money, that was my goal that I wanted to reach, then you take the step B, then you take the step C, and you continue moving on in your plan. And then you don't really have to worry about the rat race because you're not doing a job that you do not enjoy. And you're not doing a job that you don't love. You're doing something that you love. You're doing something that's all right. And you are working towards goals in your life that you want to achieve. And you're working towards that simple life. So, for example, if your simple life is to buy some kind of trailer and to live off grid or something, then you get a job and you, like I said, if you had your 9 to 5, you use your 9 to 5. Hi, Dancy. Welcome to the live. You use your 9 to 5 job to buy your trailer, and then after you get a side hustle and you live in your trailer and you enjoy your life because it's not going to be expensive to live in your trailer. Or you want to move to another country, you save up your money and you move to another country, you build your house, you do whatever you have to do, and then you start your business there if that's your plan. So have your plans set in place and make sure you have a plan A, B, and a plan C, so you can get things the way that you want it, you know, and never ever leave life on anybody terms. And I'm going to tell you guys a story about this woman. So there was this woman, right, who, you know, got married to this man. And I am in Canada, Nancy. So she married to this man, and she had her dreams and she had her goals. And when she married this man, she expected to, move to her own house. Well, the man actually had property, so she expected that they would move into one of the property by themselves as a family and stuff like that. But her husband spoke to her and said, "Oh, my parents are it would be nice if we all moved into one house and lived with our parents and and stuff like that." And you know she listened to her husband and family members, and who said, yeah, it's better to live together as a family, get to know the family, and eventually in the end you guys can move on and do other stuff and blah 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 blah, you whatever. And that wasn't what she wanted. This wasn't her personal standard. This is not a life on her own terms. This is not the simple life that she wanted to live. This is not the life that she wanted, Okay? But she was persuaded by her family members, she was persuaded by his family members, she was persuaded by him. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna give in. And she gave in and she moved into the house with the relatives of her husband. And this was the worst decision she has ever made in her entire life. And she regretted it up to this day. All right? Because she just went through hell living in this house with the members of her husband family. And she said in the end that when you have a this when like you know your standards, you know what you want in life, never make somebody come and try to persuade you or tell you to do something else when you know not what you want to do, or because you love the person, or because it's a close family member, or this person has been a good friend to me or something. Like, no, say no to people and live on your standard. Be comfortable and confident in the things that you want to do in your life, and don't make anybody persuade you to do something when you know deep down in your heart that this is not for me. I don't have the right feeling about that stuff. Like, no, I don't know, deep down inside of me, like I don't have the right feeling about that. You know what I mean? So don't do it. Don't do it at all. Do not do it. And this woman, she was saying that she lived for a couple of years with this family. She even gave birth, to her children in that house, and it was living in a hell. But the day she decided to leave that house and move into a house with her husband, that was the happiest day of her life. And she said she would never encourage any of her children, no friend of hers, to ever do that again. Do not be persuaded by family members. Do not be persuaded by anybody, family members, extended, close, nuclear, to do things that you don't want to do, even if it sounds like a good thing. And this woman, she was not like a woman who is like uneducated or oppressed, or no. She's an educated woman, you know, can talk for herself, is not been taken advantage of or anything like that. But certain decision, nah, don't make them. So you want to live the rat race? Don't anybody tell you, oh, well, you studied for this degree, you spend all this money, why are you going to leave this job for and do that thing over there? Yes, maybe you studied to be an engineer, but now you decide to be a farmer because that's your passion. That has always been your passion. But you decide to go be an engineer because that's what your parents expected of you. That's the choice you made back then, because then maybe you didn't come to your passion. Your whole passion wasn't developed as yet. But now you realize, whoa, I am passionate about farming. I am passionate about animal rearing. I am passionate about food and organic food, consuming organic food. I'm passionate about the pesticides and the stuff that goes into our product, and I don't want to be any part of that. Like, you realize how passionate you are about that. Oh yeah, now you have a degree and you're an engineer. Well, that engineering degree can also come into farming, because you can use this engineering degree maybe to build structures, maybe to do different things on your farm. You can use your engineering degree to run certain infrastructures in your farm business. So sometimes you're going into another field. It doesn't mean that you're going to be like, oh, you spend all this money and that's going to be a waste, and now you're doing something totally different. You have to follow your passion in life. When you follow your passion in life, that's the only thing that's going to make you happy. When you're doing something that is not passionate, it doesn't really bring you joy, and it really doesn't bring you happiness. It really doesn't. And so that is why in my life I realized, like, I'm only going to do things that brings me passion, things that I really enjoy, that I excel in. I feel like amazing when I do it. I enjoy it. I'm not gonna be wasting my time doing stuff that I'm like, I'm like looking at the time. Oh, when is this shift is gonna be over? Why am I here? Twiddling my thumb and shaking my legs. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? It is not necessary. This is a big world. Like, there is so much ideas out there, there's so much things to do. Why are you going to be choosing something boring or something that you don't even enjoy to do? So I'm going to close the video off and just saying like, don't feel guilty if you want to get away from the rat race. Don't feel guilty because you decided to not be tied on to some specific job that society say, oh, yeah, you have to be a doctor, so you're gonna go study to be a doctor. It's great to be a doctor, but if that's not your passion, then do what you're passionate about. Oh, you gotta be a nurse. Well, you're not passionate about nursing. Like, even if you do all those, you have the credentials for those things, and your heart is telling you, listen, I want to be a farmer. I want to grow microgreens or something like that. Or I want to make cakes. Or I want to make bread. Or I want to sew. Or I want to be a hairstylist. Something like, you know, oh, maybe I want to work in the sewer. I want to find better pipes and better things to make people homes better, to get waste and smells out of the environment or something like that. Oh, you're gonna do a business like that. I'm gonna open a business like that. I'm gonna be selling pipes and conduits and all kind of stuff. You want to do that, but you have a degree in some kind of medical degree. You have some kind of something. Like, don't be afraid to step out and do your stuff. Like, don't be afraid to step out. Somebody said to me the other day, they asked me a question. They said, are you really happy with what you're doing? But you studied all those years. Like, I don't understand why you're doing something else outside of what you study. It's so like, why? And I said to the person, I said, because I've always been passionate about health. I've always been passionate about herbs. I've always been passionate about skincare. I've always been passionate about that stuff. I've always been passionate about it. But I didn't go into that field because at the time I thought the other field that I'm in right now, I thought, okay, well, that's a field to go in, because the field that I'm in now, I'm selling products and making stuff, like, that field wasn't popular. You know what I'm saying? And I guess I wasn't into my full self and had that confidence to do it. But had I done that before, think about where I'd been today. Because not everybody's into skincare. Everybody's into all natural product. Everybody wants to, well, not everybody, but the majority of people, 80% of people wants to live healthy lives. They want to have beautiful skin. People want to have, long hair. People want to take care of their bodies. Nobody wants to have cancer. People want healing. People want all that kind of good jazz. So when you're passionate about something, follow your passions and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Do not let anybody tell you otherwise. You're passionate about music, play music. You love the piano, play the piano. The things that you love, do it. Like, I love to cook. I'm passionate about cooking. And I realized, like, I do videos here, and I have to really start showing more cooking videos because I cook so much stuff. I make so much recipes, yet I don't show too much cooking videos, So I'm going to come more on this chats or show more videos about more things that I'm passionate about, like sewing, for example. I sew mostly every week, but I hardly put a video about sewing. I think I just have one or two video on my channel about sewing, you know. So I want to kind of bring more things that I love and passionate about more on this channel. And I'm living life on my own terms. I'm living a simple life. I'm living a life that I enjoy. And so I hope you too will take that initiative and start living life on your own terms, and you will start living a life that you really enjoy, and not something forced on you because you have to pay the bills. But you'll set up yourself set up yourself really well so you're able to live the life that you want to live. And that's why I'm zoning in on that stuff, because I talk to so much people and they're so unhappy. Like, I was even talking to somebody today and they're so unhappy about certain things. They're so unhappy. You know what I mean? So, yeah, let's live the life that we truly endeavor to live, that we want to live, but let's set things in place so we can start our journey on this life, and once we get there, it will be a long-term solution, a long-term thing, and we never have to go back. Okay? So leave a comment, in the comment section. Tell me if you want to leave the rat race and never return. And tell me if you really want to live life on your own terms and if you're yearning for that simple life. And if you're already living that life, comment in the comment section and tell us, how did you do it? What steps did you take? And maybe you can give some people some advice. And that's what we're here for in this community, to learn and to grow with each other. And yeah, so that's basically that. So guys, thank you everybody for coming into the live. Greetings to everybody. Thank you. I am doing well. Hi. Okay. Great. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay positive. Stay blessed. Remember, you have one life and live your life to suit you. Bye. I'll see you in the next video.